Hi everybody and welcome back to today's session in Wellbeing. Today we're going to be talking about motivation. My name's Kira.
Hi, my name's Tom.
So let's think about what motivation is. So when you think about why you're doing something, it gives you the drive to meet your goals and achievements. So that's essentially what motivation is, just making you want to complete what you've set yourself out to do.
And of course, motivation is important because there's without goals to work towards. If you don't have goals to work towards, you don't get no drive because the motivation gives you meaning to do them. It's not saying, well, I want to do this, but why do you want to do it? What difference is it going to make in your life to achieve it? Makes a huge big difference. It's 9 day.
Exactly. And it helps you solve problems and cope with challenges. So like what you're saying there, Tom, like motivation, if you really want to do something and if you really want to overcome things, you will because of motivation, and you'll just work in different ways to try and solve your problems and overcome the hurdles that you face.
And that's true, very true, Kay. But also the last one is what you do is everything changes. It's life in general. No point having a rigid idea and saying, well, hang on, this is working right. Be flexible. Change with it as time goes on. That's the best way to achieve it because very few things get achieved all in one aspect.
So true.
Two, maybe three, maybe four different versions of it. Get a flow. Go with the flow.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than forcing yourself to do like one thing. Exactly. So let me move on. So I think we're going to talk a little bit about how to get and stay motivated, Tom, if you want to start us off.
Of course, with motivation, it's the big thing is using us, like example, we mentioned it before, it's a SMART goal. Now, full goal, what's a SMART goal? It's when you're specific, what specific you want to achieve, is measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, and can it be timed? What that means like it's a specific saying, well, I want to climb Everest.
Yeah.
Is measurable? How am I going to do this? How am I going to get money for this? How am I going to finish, etc.? It's measurable. I've achieved it, get to certain sales level, then no more way for it. Is it achievable? I have enough time to do this. I've got enough money to do this. And I've got backing from friends and family, blah, 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 etc. Is it realistic? No point saying, oh, it's climb Everest, but you can't even walk up the stairs.
So true.
Quite realistic. And timely. It's putting on time on things, saying, well, no point saying, well, next 5 years, some say, well, next June, I'm doing it. Next June the 20th. Because I worked at a time, that's when I'm going to get your motivation to do that.
It's true.
Okay.
Really?
And now, of course, you think about it, goal includes in your life and how you make it. And most important is the time frame. Very important, as we talked about time frame before. Because you break goals in small chunks and small easy to achieve it. There's no point in looking at the big one saying Everest. You look at that and say, well, I'm going to get my finish level in, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get my money sorted out. I'm going to have a flight planned, booked. I'm going to support from people, I guess. But all these small steps to get there. Okay.
Exactly.
And know you're on track into that.
Yeah, it makes it more achievable, like what you were saying, and more realistic if you break it down into smaller chunks rather than overwhelming yourself with lots of things in one big goal.
Overload, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Tom. So I think that's what we're saying, just break your goals into small, easy little tasks. That makes much more sense.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah.
I think what we've said before, like many times, and what we always want to like keep saying is just to practice the positive self-talk. Instead of saying I can't, just say I can, or I can try and do something, because maybe you won't get it the first time, but that's absolutely fine, because the more you practice and the more you try, the more motivation you get to get there in the end. So I think it's really important to just keep your spirits high and just like make sure that you're doing your very best. And that's all you can do, because it does take 3 months to develop a new habit. So keeping the routine helps it feel more automatic. So like what we're saying, just practice and practice and practice and try your best, because at the end of the day, you can do it. We can all do anything that we put our minds to. So I
Yeah,
think it's really important. What do you think, Tom? Do you agree?
absolutely. Well, more importantly, you said before, if you do something and don't quite got there, it's not a step forward to achieving. It's better than doing nothing about it. So always achieving something towards
Exactly, Tom. That's really, really true. It is better than doing nothing, just doing something towards it is really
it. Yeah,
important.
absolutely.
I think motivation kind of goes hand in hand with balancing commitments, because sometimes when you feel really overwhelmed with all your commitments, like you maybe don't have the motivation to do some things. But I think it's really important now. So we're going to talk about some ways, hopefully, that we can help with balancing commitments. So I think the first one would be just setting limits for yourself and setting limits for the amount of work that you're going to do. So maybe if you have like 2 tasks to do, maybe you could set some time to doing one and then setting some more time to do another, but remember to look after yourself as well. So I think that's quite important to me.
And you absolutely, you've got to have something to achieve,
Mhm.
something to aim for. I mean, it makes you wake up in the morning and go for it.
Exactly, Tom.
And more so the next point, well, think when something's important to you, these, what doesn't really matter. Priorities and stuff. There's like no point saying, right, I'm going to exercise and start out doing this, climb Everest, but I'm not sure what butter to put in my toast. It's prioritizing it. What's important, what's make a difference in life compared to it's not really relevant.
Exactly, Tom. And I think that's important for the next point as well. It's like if you feel overwhelmed, it's okay to ask for help, because, like what we've said there, everybody gets overwhelmed, because especially if you've got lots of things going on in your life, it can feel really, really daunting and not knowing where to start. And it's okay just to ask for somebody to like maybe sit down and be like, how can I balance these things all together, and maybe come up with a little plan on how you're going to tackle them. So I think that's a good idea.
Absolutely, that's so true. And of course, be honest with your own feelings. Being more understanding yourself, so you know where you come from. There's no point going, okay, that's it. I'm going to run a 4-minute mile, a 3-minute mile. You see, you got to say, oh, I don't feel ready for that yet. Or, yeah, I can do that. Listen to yourself. That's the best way you can adjust to that. Being flexible again to how you feel inside. Very, very important. Rather than something so black and white.
Exactly, Tom. And I think that all links to like as well making compromises where you can. So there's going to be times maybe that you want to do something really, really badly, but if you've got a really important big task on, maybe you could think to yourself, okay, if I stay in tonight and finish a little bit of the task, maybe I could go out tomorrow or something like that. And then you're still making compromises and getting done what you have to get done, but making time for what you enjoy too. Because I think it is all about making compromises and making sure you still enjoy your life while getting done everything that you want to achieve.
Yep.
So I think it's important.
And of course, however,
Very important.
it's always okay to say no.
Yes.
It's like some mornings you wake up and some days you get the wind behind you and sailing's dead easy. And some days the wind in front of you, always wind in your face. It's harder. Some days not quite good that day. So you can say, well, not today. Do it tomorrow. Whatever.
Exactly, Tom. But I think sometimes saying no can be quite scary for people, or quite tough for people that are people pleasers, because
Yeah,
they
you're
just don't
so
want to
right.
upset anybody. I think it's just not wanting to upset people. So a good way maybe to like combat this feeling and realize that it is okay to say no, because it's always okay to say no if you don't feel like doing something. It's just maybe practice saying no in front of a mirror. I think we spoke about this before, Tom. Like it gives you strategies for when it comes to say no.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because
Good practice.
Yeah, because you know you can do it then. If you sit in front of a mirror, you can say it to somebody else. And most of the time, people are going to be really understanding if you have to say no, because everybody's been there. So I think it's really important. And I think the last little bit of our talk is just about how to maybe like think about all of these things and improve them within your own life. So maybe if you think about the tools that we've covered today and how these might help you within your daily life, that would be good to get a little idea of how saying no or like just balancing commitments could be implemented within your own life.
Of course, what tools will you use for yourself that will improve your own self-care? Overall, as we've all covered, the whole session covered the coursework. What tools can make a difference in your life? Something may be relevant to one person, something may be relevant to another person. What works for you is more important. Always step forward with you.
Exactly, Tom. That's brilliant advice. So I think we've came to the end of our wellness sessions with all of these parts, but thank you very much for watching, and we hope that we could have helped you along the way, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. Bye. Ciao.